What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
Oh, I just sat in a little presentation. I don't think I can talk about it, however, though.
No, we'll reveal more at a later date, Scott. But
I'm looking forward to that. I'll say that much.
That's good. That's good. what we do can, dude, it's one of those days already. Everything's been tossed around. Normally, people can join us, though, every day, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as youtube.com/theofficialitg. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Dude, I just realized my Twitch channel is white. I don't know. It's got the white screen instead of the dark screen mode for some reason. I'm like, what is going on here?
Oh,
the home screen itself is
strange.
Dark. Dude, it flipped on me. That's
Oh
it's
man, I hate it when my phone
blinding.
does that, and I discover it at 3 a.m.
Oh man, I got nothing, Scott. I got nothing for that one, dude. But we got a good show today lined up though. Can Respawn's Apex Legends keep going for 20 years? Well, that's what they're looking for. More Metroid Prime is on the way for Switch owners, and MultiVersus could be the next game to get shut down. We'll talk about why. But first, PSA, Scott, today at 11 a.m., you and Steve revealed your final thoughts for Returnal on PC. That's right. It is now ready for PC players, and you guys reviewed it. So make sure you check out our channel over at youtube.com/theofficialitg and get in on your thoughts. We might touch on that one later, Scott. But let's get into it. Because Respawn wants Apex Legends to last for 20 years. Grant Hill over at Insider Gaming, not the basketball player. I'm just saying. That's a shout out for like way back when, dude. That's a long time ago. In an interview with IGN, it was revealed that developers at Respawn Entertainment want to keep Apex Legends alive and running for 20 years. There's a desire to keep the live service game functioning for 2 decades, and there was even a comparison made between Apex and traditional sports, which have been around for 100+ years. Scott, that's a bold comparison, isn't it? Oh, dude. My audio dipped already.
This happens an unfortunate amount of times.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay, it's one of these days.
There we go.
I'm just gonna break it, and we won't have to worry about it anymore at all. You'll never see my pretty face again, Scott. But like I was saying, dude, that's a bold statement, man. Be comparing essentially esports to traditional sports, and it depends on who you talk to. Some are like, yeah, these are athletes, and dude, there's a whole comparison, an argument comparison you can kind of get into, right? Which is granted, I think, on both sides, but to keep it going for 20 years, do you think that's possible? Even before we continue on with the article, do you think we can go for 20 years of Apex?
Apex itself for 20 years? Maybe as a larger IP, I could see that. You know, Halo has lasted 20 years, but then we're comparing the comparison is a single player staple in culture versus a battle royale, which is also indicative of the time, was a big deal. But will battle royale in general last 20 years? I have questions.
Yeah, me too. It is an admirable goal, but Apex Legends is already a quarter of the way towards achieving it. Typically, Battle Royale games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, and PUBG don't see sequels emerge. They simply upgrade and expand on what already exists. There's a strong foundation supporting Apex Legends, but is it enough for the game to last another 15 years in operation? In an interview published by IGN, the senior design director behind Apex Legends, Evan, nope, not even gonna go there, Scott. I am going there. I'm doing it. Nikolash.
I think it's Nikolic.
I was close, man. Somewhere in there, but was quick to compare Apex Legends to Counter-Strike. Dude, what?
There's an interesting comparison. Counter-Strike has existed in some form for a long time now.
Right, and they keep iterating and moving out from forward. Still around as a highly competitive esports game today. Right, there's leagues, tournaments, all that kind of stuff going for Counter-Strike. So, man, if you're comparing Apex to Counter-Strike, there's definitely a possibility that could remain. But how do you iterate moving it forward?
I think Counter-Strike GO, the latest one, I think that was about 9 or 11 years old now. But it's worth noting that's not Counter-Strike 1. So this kind of changes the conversation. Is it Apex 3 will be around in 20 years? Sure.
That's a franchise that has remained incredibly stable for almost 23 years as a franchise, Scott, right? Not the OG, right? And recently, Counter-Strike Global Offensive went so far as to beat its own peak concurrent player record on Steam. Wow. Evan explained what he meant. Quote, where we want to go to is that Apex is going to last for 20 years like Counter-Strike. It has to be able to be self-sufficient and stand on its own. The systems have to be strong and interesting and good for players to play season over season, even if we're not adding new bespoke content.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if you're not going to keep adding content, I guess my question then to you, Scott, is Apex strong enough to be out on its own without the continued support from the developers, right? Bringing you a new battle pass season, giving us new content, new maps, new weapons, new operators, like new champions and new, or to just go, okay, we're stepping out. It's now up to the community, and we're just gonna pass it off and let you kind of take the reins from there.
Well, just as a game, the gameplay loop of it, I think it could stand a very long time just on its own without new content. But when it comes to the modern gamer, we almost expect there's this idea of entitlement to free new content constantly forever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's sustainable in any setting, actually.
Well, it's one of those things. I think Apex is a fantastic game. It doesn't pull me in, unfortunately, just because I'm not that good at it. At the end of the day, I love, dude, the art direction.
The movement shooter.
It is quick. It's quick paced, right, and really spongy. And that's one of my downsides when you get into that bullet sponge kind of mechanic. Like I have a hard time when I'm unloading the clip and the person's still looking at me in the eye. I'm like, what's going on here? So
they're not even slowed down.
Well, that's just it, right? Like you didn't stumble, you didn't trip or nothing, and here you are. But Apex, I think, has a foundation that it could possibly well keep it going for another 10 years, 5 years easy. 10 years, sure. Maybe, dude, 15 years, though. They have 15 more years to go, if that's possible. If Respawn wants to continue to support it, I think that's how it stays alive. I don't think if they just push it out and let it go, that they can keep it going. Will we... I've seen discussions around this as well. Where's the single-player game for Apex?
Yeah. Well, that would be a very easy way of keeping it going. Dropping more different game modes in general. I'm thinking of PUBG. PUBG has the team deathmatch that comes around. Events that happen sometimes change the rules up.
Sure.
So I think with that support very close, it could last. I struggle to say another 10 years. That's just such a huge amount of time.
Yeah, it has a huge following. Dude, I wonder how many concurrent players it has right now when you look at Steam or Twitch, when you have the viewership, right? And then you have the esports leagues themselves as well with Apex, which is going strong. They just recently shut down, Scott, or at the end of the month, we'll be shutting down Apex Mobile.
Yeah, if that's a sign of things, that's not exactly inspiring, but
not exactly. I think if that would have kept going moving forward, then okay, yeah, this makes total sense. Maybe you can keep it around. And what kind of degree does that look like, though, when you go from mobile to console to PC and so forth? But if you keep iterating and pushing it forward, well, like you say, right, will we get into an Apex 2 or an Apex 3 by the time the 20 years are up? Or you stick with, hey, this is just Apex and it's still here, and they keep changing up the map or they introduce a new map? There's got to be some kind of hook, some kind of loop that I don't think the gameplay itself is going to keep it going for 20 years. I think you're going to have fans that go, oh man, you remember Apex?
A couple of years from now, it's been long awaited. They could drop a couple Titans into the mix, borrow from that amazing series that it's supposed to have come from.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it too, dude. The minute they started dropping Titans into the mix, now we're in a whole other realm for Apex, right? To expand off of, and as much as we're starting to see from it right now, the transition between video games and TV adaptations and movies, dude, Apex is well aligned for that kind of transition, I think, as well. To see them move into this transmedia mix of opportunities and keep that. How do you re-spark people? Dude, introduce a show. They already have the art style. That cartoon, cel-shaded, amazing, incredible art style. Yo, look at Arcane, right? Riot crushed it with Arcane over on, I think it was Netflix.
I think that was, yeah.
So why won't Respawn and EA team up and put up a Netflix series for them to go with this kind of art style? Like they already do these amazing little skits and movies, things, these little mini movies, I'm going to call them, Scott. Dude, we can get in a whole series on this, couldn't we?
All these characters, yeah, they have a huge amount of different types of characters that could really bounce across each other really well. And I don't want to see a Mirage show, but Any other character would be great.
Well, you're gonna have Mirage in there at some point, right? He's one of the staples that started this game off. But it is definitely like the room, I think, for growth and opportunity is here. What will I'm really kind of curious at the end of the day, what will Apex look like in 20 years from now? If it's still here. If it's not here, then that's unfortunate. But dude,
I hope
they
no
have the
building.
opportunities.
No build mode, please. That's Fortnite wore that out for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So even if Respawn stops adding new content to Apex Legends and simply keeps the lights on, there's a belief that that players would keep the platform abuzz with activity year after year after year. It's not so tough to imagine if that's at least a possibility. Recently, EA's DICE, sister studio to Respawn, prepared the shutdown of existing Medal of Honor multiplayer servers. Scott,
Yeah.
right? Like, dude, we are seeing left, right, and center games get shut down. We just saw Knockout City get shut down. We just saw what was the other one? RumbleVerse. Dude, after 6 months, RumbleVerse got shut down. Right? So there's a lot of these coming around going, okay, this one's only been around for 6 months. And that was gone. Like 6 months.
I'm waiting for Roller League Champions is going to be the next one.
Well, that's a Ubisoft joint right there, and that is a high possibility, Scott, without a doubt.
That is a rocking boat.
I do see them constantly putting out things for it, so maybe there's a stronger community there. I don't know. I didn't really get into the game. I tested it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I just bounced on to 1,000 other things we do here.
Suspect it's going to be similar to MultiVersus, but we'll get to that one.
Yes, we will get there shortly. But let's get over to what Jeff Grubb is up to as he reiterates that Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 are Switch-bound. This is over at mynintendonews.com. VentureBeat journalist Jeff Grubb has reiterated that both Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption will both be re-released on the Nintendo Switch family of systems, presumably by the same team which handled the recently released Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, I really hope so.
Have you started it yet?
No, because of our schedule, and I kick myself in the head every time I say this, but because of our schedule, I can't get onto that one. I will, in the very short term, actually get into it, because it's just an amazing game that highlights my childhood, really. And if I get that same treatment with Echoes and Corruption, I'm very happy.
Again, this is cool. Dude, I think there'd be a lot of hype to see it come around. If we get the first one, I think people are just as excited to see 2 and 3. I don't think 2 and 3 are as good as the first one. I think more people lean towards the first one being the standout. But either way,
2 and 3 are some level of rare now. The original copies, that is.
Dude, we're still waiting on 4 to touch down, though, aren't we?
Yeah, there's still nothing about 4 other than one little screen image, I believe, in 2019.
Switch 2 launch title. So,
hey, I would accept that. That'd be a mixed bag of news I'd be happy about.
Yeah. Dude, you remember when MultiVersus came out? Because it was high flying, but now Daily Peak's Steam players count down to drop more than 99% since launch.
Oh.
The players have just fallen off, Scott. And it's kind of worrisome, right? Chris Sculling over VGC has this to say. MultiVersus has seen drastic decrease in the numbers of daily players that has seen its peak player count on Steam drop more than 99% since launch. The game enjoyed an extremely successful launch with a peak of more than 143,000 players on Steam on day one, rising up to 153,000. I'll go with that the following day. A month after its launch, Warner Brothers stated that over 20 million players had already downloaded and played the game, suggesting a strong player base on which to build, which is exciting. Dude, I kind of thought this had legs, right? Since then, however, the daily peak player count has been steadily dropping to the extent that this week it dipped below 1,000 players for the first time, according to Steam DB, hitting a player peak of only 986 players.
Oh,
ouch, what a drop. This marks a drop in daily player count of about 99.3574% in less than 7 months, Scott. That is huge. Part of the reason for the drop in players may be a tepid response to the game's Season 2 content, which players have been regularly complaining about on social media. The game's first season saw a release of 5 new characters: Rick, Morty, Gizmo, Stripe, and Black Adam over the course of around 2 months between late August and late October. However, since season 2 started on November 15th, just one character, Marvin the Martian, has been released, and that was nearly 3 months ago.
Oh,
Scott, getting back into that live service experience, my friend, seems to be a bit of a problem here, doesn't it?
yeah. It seems that you really need any sort of live service. You really need a huge amount of content bundled up to release. But that's always strange with me because at that point, why not just put it in the game? But I have to realize that I have an old world way of looking at these games. This is an interesting. I think of Lawbreakers. How many concurrent players did Lawbreakers have, and it wasn't enough? It just couldn't cut the mustard.
Shout out to Cliff. Holy, that's an old one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a sorely missed one from my understanding.
No, that's fair, right? It's unfortunate to see the player dip, but I say it over and over again. You know, like, people hit me up. I'm telling you, you need to have at least a year, 2 years already complete before you launch your game when it comes to a games of service model, because the players are so hungry that you need to be able to keep them enticed, keep them around some way, some form. And if you only drop now, when you came out so strong, right? You got 4 new characters, 5 new characters, 6 new characters in a short amount of time. Maybe you should have spread that out over the course of a year, right? If you drop 6, so say you drop 1 every 2 months, Scott, maybe that's enough to keep them enticed, right? Like right now, every time we get a new season of Siege, we get 1 operator. Before, we used to get a lot more, but over the years, we've seen Ubisoft kind of go, you know what, we want to do more fine tuning. So here's the new season. There's 1 new operator, and I'm actually kind of happy about it. I was a little disappointed at first, but now I'm like, hey, that's cool. It keeps me going. But when you get over here, and MultiVersus it had such a strong launch at launch, it's just starting to dwindle down so much that the players are going, I got nothing new and exciting to play, and that's unfortunate. I wonder what they're gonna do.
It doesn't have the mechanics behind it to sustain on its own in the same way that Smash Brothers does, and Smash Brothers is always going to be the king of the castle. You have to dethrone them to take the place, and well, just look at Diddy Kong Racing. It doesn't happen often.
Yep. So we do hope that they're able to kind of fix this. Maybe a new season is the answer, but we don't know. Season 3 was supposed to start just the other day, but developer First Party Games delayed it to March 31st, given the reason it wanted to give players more time to complete their Season 2 Battle Pass. I'm calling that out and say that's wrong.
Yeah, that's not the right idea, in my opinion.
First of all, that's the wrong answer, because as far as I'm concerned, being just kind of reading that and reading between the lines, they're not being 100% transparent there, Scott. Something else is up, right? Like, there's a bug. We just need more time to polish the Battle Pass, the Season 3, whatever. Be upfront. Hey, you know what? We know you're just as excited as we are for Season 3. Unfortunately, we've come across this, and this. We're going to need a little bit more time to kind of make sure that's all polished. That way you guys can get the perfect experience you want. How hard is that, Scott? It's not that hard.
We're taking some time. We're taking some time to address the overall direction of the game. That might be a little nerve-inducing, but
right. We want to be able to give you more fighters at Season 3 or something. So that way, when you finish, maybe you start season. Here's what they need to do: start Season 3, drop a new character, right? Let's go halfway through the season, drop another one, and then by the end of the season, drop another one. Dude, so in Season 1, right? How many did they drop here? I'm just going back through the article.
5, I think.
5. Okay, so let's cut it in half then. Give us 1 at the beginning of the season, 1 at the end of the season. Even that doesn't really work, because then you get in the next season. But if you can give us maybe 2 throughout the season or 3 throughout the season, that might be enough to entice players to keep coming back. Ooh, new hero, new character drop. I want to go in and test that one out, right? Mm-hmm. Something to kind of keep that going and alive. Hopefully they can sort it out. But it's just kind of, that sucks, dude. Like, what a drop that is. And like we said, we've seen in games left, right, and center, just kind of, we're shutting down. And I'm a little, are you nervous that this is going to get closed?
I think it is. We're not going to see MultiVersus at EVO. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, man, but it should be there. Honestly, it should be there. I think it's got the mechanics behind it. And at launch, you kind of thought maybe it stood a chance getting
it. Has certainly had potential.
Yeah. Scott, what we are getting, though, is Dead Island's launch is pulled forward a week. Something we don't see very often at all. This is over on Dead Island official Twitter post. You asked for it, you got it. Dead Island 2 went gold and it's coming out a week early. See ya in hella on April 21st, 2023. Scott, why do you think they moved?
Yeah, it got up to be a little bit of a crowded launch window, I believe.
Yeah, what else is coming out in April, right? There's something there, dude. I was just
Something we talked about just a few days ago.
Yeah, I think we were talking, just kind of hanging out, talking. But yeah, there's something in around that launch that's a little bit bigger. All right, now I gotta look it up. It's bugging me. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, that's gonna bug me.
I know, absolutely. So, how excited are you for? Obviously, you're really excited for this game, aren't you?
Oh, Dead Island. Yeah, this is actually Dead Island, the third game, the fourth game if you count the 2D side scroller. So yeah, technically, but in any case, I've been waiting for Dead Island 2 by name for so long.
Yeah, because
I've gone through Riptide at least 3 times while I'm waiting.
Scott, a little game called Star Wars Jedi Survivor is on March 28th. You will not see the light of day with Star Wars coming out. So is a week ahead of it okay? Yeah, they'll probably pick it up, play for a week, and then they'll bounce over to Star Wars, is my prediction, Scott.
Yeah, as long as you get that kind of, all right, it's finally here by.
Yeah.
I'll be getting it. I can cycle back around a month later.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely fair. Dude, we got some interesting news coming out of Ubisoft. Is holding a cross-play test for his first free-to-play FPS X-Defiant this week. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Ubisoft has announced details of the first cross-play test for its upcoming free-to-play FPS X-Defiant. Having held several insider sessions for PC players last year, the latest playtest will see PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC users playing together from February 16th to the 20th. Dude, the last thing if I'm on console is me wanting to play with a PC player, especially in an FPS. Getting it wrong. Yeah. Right?
Well, we have loving memories from Predator. Predator Hunting Grounds was brutal. I've seen a game end in 12 seconds.
They're going to get 4 game modes, 13 maps, new battlegrounds, and X-Defiant is a free-to-play, fast-paced arena shooter that combines intense gunplay with personalized loadouts and specialized factions as teams of gunfighters battle for domination, according to Ubisoft. This was initially revealed back in July 2021 as Tom Clancy's X-Defiant. At the time, it only included factions from Tom Clancy franchises, Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, and The Division. We'll see what happens. X-Defiant is in development by Ubisoft San Francisco, led by executive producer Mark Rubin. You might know that name, Scott, who was previously on the same position for Call of Duty Modern Warfare over at Infinity Ward.
Okay.
Oh, you ready? It will release for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Luna, with a full cross-play expected at launch. Yeah, man. I'm up for cross-play between consoles. I don't want it on PC. Get me out.
I hope there is usually an option you can opt out of PC. I hope that's a standard going forward.
Me as well, Scott. We do have a couple games out today, though, my friend. What do we have?
Well, firstly, we have Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 have both entered Season 2 at some point today. That's a Tuesday catastrophe. We also have full releases today. That would be Returnal on PC, where I enjoyed it. We also have Pharaoh, New Era on PC as well today.
There we go. Dude, Returnal. Everybody's got to go check out Returnal. What a fantastic game. Friend of the show, Jane Perry voices Selena as well, which is always awesome. I love Jane. Shout out to Jane. Dude, that is another episode just like that. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You can always join us live Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, usually over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as youtube.com/theofficialitg. But if you can't join us live, definitely hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Again, go check out that Returnal review. And stay tuned. We got a busy week yet. We're not done by any means. So until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.